Need to articulate the good.
Yeah.
I will quote Fifth Element and say that time is not important, only life is important.
Time not important, only life important.
Like love. Love is worth saving.
I don't know love.
Now encompasses everything. Does it not?
It's all there is.
It's all there is.
You choose survival, social, wisdom, or heart.
Miss, multipass.
I do believe that this consciousness is sort of like a meat popsicle, as Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element called it.
Sir, are you classified as human?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Chad just got an elliptical. Chad, get in here. I'll show you what's up. Show you how it's done.
Fifth Element and the gal that's playing in Fifth Element, I would have the same. So I had this tendency to be able to be captured by the stories or the performances, and I think there's something similar to that. If I'm watching a movie or a film and I'm immersed in the story, that's a flow state too.
But life is time. Your life is made up of the time you have. That's all it is.
You see, Father, by creating a little destruction,
A cherry.
I'm in fact encouraging life.
You're a monster, Zook. I know.
See, you've given yourself up. But this is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender.
Why don't you take this opportunity to answer that in the Hive Mind chat or in the comments if you're watching the replay? What do you want to exist even if you don't? And how much of a difference do you make to it?
Wind blows. Fire burns.
There are some things, very nice things worth saving.
Like love.
Like love. Love is worth saving.
I don't know love.
Because I love you.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1.
Hello. Hello. I see I left the branding up. No, wait. This is the overlay. Hello. No, wait. Look at all the fumbles. Hello. I see the assassins have failed.
It appears the assassins have failed.
Welcome, everybody. This is the meanwhile, and this little cave stream, as you saw in the overlay I left up there. Yeah. I'm stepping on what's left of Chad's premiere, and for that, well, you know, time is what it is. But we're gonna do some savings throws against the mind control right after this.
One thing is sure, a great change of our psychological attitude is imminent. That is certain. Why? Because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature, because the only real danger that exists is man himself.
And whoosh. But as a group, no, there's no psychoanalysis, just whoosh. There it is. Whoosh. There it is. Whoosh. There it is. Whoosh. There it is. Everybody reacts. So say we all. This is wrong.
Oh no, Professor Luigi has died. Well, welcome back. All right, the saves versus the mind control, and like it may be even my own darkness mind control today. You get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for your savings throw. I roll the dice. If it's over 10, you take half damage. Woohoo! If it's under 10, you take full damage, but you get +2s if you chat in the hive mind, +5 if you comment on a replay. Those bonuses apply unless you get a natural 1. Let's see how it goes. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. Choose. Oh, survival is not looking good for you. That's a 3. You're going to need all sorts of bonuses. Lovers of wisdom. Prime 17. Ooh, we got another set of twins with the wisdom coming in at a pair of 7s 14, and the hearts coming in at a pair of 7s 14. And indigo kids, well, the only other time you get to see the die when it's not a nat 20 is when it's a nat 1. So no bonuses for the indigo kids. This one's gonna get you, much like the rhythm. Have some cats. So I did mention some darkness. What happened is I rage quit Jumpgate again, and so I've lost all of the synthetic meaning it was filling my life with, and that makes things pretty bleak. My dad called me last week and said that he's starting to play Fallout 4 again, and there's nothing I really would like more than to fall out again, but it seems that I have this I have this no, that's not the path to take. That's not the thing to do. And I'm wrestling with that, plus the loss of synthetic meaning. And it's been really, really, really interestingly difficult. Meanwhile, the red card of the show is gonna be the king of clubs. We're getting clubbed by the king today, and welcome. Let's see who we have in the hive mind today. We have Rascal. The only time. And PK Fabe in the house. Thank you for the donation there, PK Fabe. That was great. Jacob Sonnenberg, Dr. Lenny time. We got a bunch of doctors up in here, or at least they claim to be. Hey, look, it's Gavin Palmer. It may be a cave, but we have the light. President Foxman, good to see you. Franco, always. And ups. And hey, look, it's Paul Vanderclay. Who's that guy? Phlebas is over there. There's Stephanie Christos. Did I say your name, Jacob? Jacob Sonnenberg in the house. Way up there is Neutrino. Welcome, everybody. I hope you're having a virtually not alone time, because at least we're all together here in this little cave thing. What's this one?
This is Paul, and just a little quick video.
All these forces they don't understand. The fact that there's war coming, all these things, they don't even know what they're doing. And yet, they're already playing the game.
That's what it's all about.
That our tools were small enough and around long enough that we could actually play with them and experiment with them and get to know them and learn to think outside the box. Is that everybody there was thinking outside the box because we'd all come from outside the box. Everybody talks about thinking outside the box. They go inside the box and tell everybody in there that they should learn to think outside the box. If you really want people to think outside the box, go find people who are from outside the box, because those people can't think anywhere but outside the box. That's where we were, all of us to one extent or another in those days. It's not where we are now.
There's a reality that you and Paul touch on when it comes to like people getting what they need versus what they want, that you and Paul kind of see pretty clearly, and I'm trying to learn how to see that way too.
Oh, that's my faith in the arenic nature of the agency. Oh, I remember when I had that faith. Now we'll pull a blue card for the show. The reason I called this one this little cave is because, well, we've been a little, ever since Waves of Obsession came on the scene, we did a little of that navel gazing that we like to do. And I guess some people are calling the TLC is dead. And oh, that was Father Eric. Father Eric was saying that. But the thing is I get these guilt feelings sometimes for when I forget that I'm here in service of those who are stuck here also, that to bring the virtually not alone feels. I get this digital sharecropping thing that I'm helping people stay in their little phone devices and be virtually not alone when they could be out there doing the Lord's work or something. And but much like the gap in my life that has been filled since quitting Jumpgate again, there's not a lot of what do you call it? Modeled other options to do. Like I've been feeling that time mainly with more set worship when I finally caught that first 3 seasons now of True Detective. And that's what it is to be a part of the Blue Church, I suppose. And the Blue Church card of the show is the Ace of Clubs. Woo, we're getting clubbed today, folks. We're getting clubbed today. So let's get into the meanwhile portion of the show. Meanwhile, while we're sitting here in our this little corner, elsewhere on the internet, this is happening. That. Oh, this is definitely going to get copyright, but you know, that's how it goes sometimes.
On a time, there was a glowing city protected by golden gates, known as heaven. It was ruled by beings of pure light, angels that worshipped good and shielded all from evil. Lucifer was one of these angels. He was a dreamer with fantastical ideas for all of creation, but he was seen as a troublemaker by the elders of heaven, for they felt his way of thinking was dangerous to the order of their world. So he watched as the angels began to expand the universe in their ways. From the dust of earth, they created Adam and Lilith, equals as the first of mankind.
What? That's not the story. That's not the story I heard.
But despite this, Adam demanded control, and Lilith refused to submit to his will. She fled the garden. Drawn in by her fierce independence, Lucifer found her, and the two rebellious dreamers fell deeply in love. Together, they wished to share the magic of free will with humanity, offering the fruit of knowledge to Adam's new bride, Eve, who gladly accepted. But this gift came with a curse, for with this single act of disobedience, evil finally found its way into Earth. With it, a new realm of darkness and sin, and the order heaven had worked to maintain was shattered. As punishment for their reckless act, heaven cast Lucifer and his love into the dark pit he had created, never allowing him to see the good that came from humanity, only the cruel and the wicked. Ashamed, Lucifer lost his will to dream, but Lilith thrived, empowering demonkind with her voice and her songs, and as the numbers of hell grew, so did its power. Threatened by this, heaven made a truly heartless decision, that every year they would send down an army and exterminate.
Where is this army? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it lately. This is a brand new show available on the Amazon Prime for those people, and I guess it arrives today. And it features such wonderful graphic images as this. As this one here. How you like that? How you like that, kids? Yes, it's for adults. It's for children who have been coddled past the age of 18, not for the actual children. Because sure, what are you doing? Watching a cartoon. Okay, and this beautiful work is brought to us by this lady, or have you, known as the Vizzy Pop is how she calls herself on the YouTubes. But don't worry, it's not a big channel. She's only got what, 8 million subscribers. Also known for the zoophobia thing, which apparently has gotten rave reviews from Furry Magazine. And so this is the meanwhile, while we are dealing with arguments about the Trinity and these little deconstructions and trying to get people into church, that is what is being fed into those that worship Set, and most of us also still worship Set. And these sort of things make me wonder. Meanwhile, this means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We too can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods, or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about being able to control ourselves, but self-control is a rare and remarkable virtue. Yes, we should definitely boycott. What you call it? Top hats. We should boycott top hats. Let's see. Rather than pulling from the agency deck, I'm going to pull from the farm deck, which has made an appearance today, and that's from the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, where the farm is. Where the farm is. Down here at the farm. And that's one of the few Guns N' Roses songs that has actually stuck with me over the years more than some of the others down here on the farm. Everything smells like, oh, wait. And the farm card show of the thing is the queen of spades. Welcome, everybody. Oh, well, I can go on. I will go on, but I need even more branding breaks. Let's see if we can't muster up some. Let's attack the darkness.
The list?
Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right? What room? I want to cast Magic Missile. The room where he's casting all these spells from. He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile.
Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here.
I'm attacking the darkness.
What are all these Fed accusations? I think that if there's any Feds in they should get the budget cleared to make a donation. But let's pull a card for them from the agency deck. I am not a Catholic. I don't believe I've ever eaten the wafer or drinking the wine, and I'm very jealous of the sweet, sweet Auntie Doron. However, here's the card. Here's the card. The 3. You only get a 3 of spades, you agents. But welcome nonetheless. As I said, I've interrupted the premiere of the Friday Morning Nameless, and right before I did so, the star of the Friday Morning Rando, on the Friday Morning Nameless, today was share this tab instead, was Christian Baxter, and he brings up, and it right of synchronistically, if you will, he brought up something that's very near and dear to my heart, and going to be a question for the comment section and or replay of the replay of I mean, I don't know if you guys can actually comment now. If you can, go ahead. If not, it's mainly a question for the replay. But lead me into it, Christian. I call him CB usually. Okay.
And all I could say, like the most true thing in scripture for me is Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So he is true.
What does that even mean? Oh, look, there's a gift of member. Thank you, PK Fabe. You can grab your memberships now, I guess. I don't know exactly how that works. But if you do get to make the special emojis. The special emojis such as Flame and Vianney and Danny. And this is what the Danny emoji looks like. It shows you just don't do the underscore. in what you see when I highlight it, it shows the underscore. You don't do that. You just put the Denny without the underscore, but put the anyway. Guys, teach them how to do it. Teach them how to do it. Yes, like that, but without the underscores, and then you can make those special emojis if you grab those gift memberships now. But okay, now go back to what you just said.
It's like the most true thing in scripture for me is Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So he is truth.
Okay, what is it? What does the way part of that mean to you guys? As Christians, or at least those who identify as Christians, what does the way part of the way and the truth and the life mean to you? I mean, I have my own opinion. Like, maybe it means you have to fast for 40 days. Because that's, like, emulate the path he took, the life he took as best you can, and that would include that. But let me know what you think and what your official denomination thinks about what it means that Christ is the way. The way. That's very interesting to me. And then what was your other favorite there, Christian CB?
Okay, and Jesus is God. And then he also says, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And it did.
My favorite addendum to that is that somebody added on, but first it'll piss you off. But first it'll piss you off. It will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.
Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all.
That's a nice one. That's a nice one. All right, what do we have in the high? We got a bubble from Clint. And this is my week's, the highlight was watching Chad So. Let's see. Thank you, Shadow Cabal. Where would the shadows be without them? I don't know either, but Brother Broseph, his mystic lantern, says, my tradition tries to live wholesome lives, fight sin in our life, feed the poor, spend time worshiping at the parish, saying the psalms, doing liturgy, and participating in the story. Isn't this lady Vizzy Pop also participating in the story, just perhaps as a villain? Don't we all participate in the story? Hey, let's see, since it's a special Friday, if anybody wants to come on and be on the Grim Grizz stream with Grim Grizz, also known as the Hot Seat, jump in the Hot Seat if you want. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, since this one is almost surely to get copyright struck, I'm pulling a gift from who was formerly known as the Prophet Zacharias, now going by the lovely title Zach Otep. Zach Otep, he delivered this into the clock tower, and I just thought it was fabulous.
To go to New York and examine the effects of Nikola Tesla, I was particularly looking for something which would be evidence of a secret weapon, which I was reminded by the agents, the two agents who were present during the entire time, was a matter of concern to the United States.
My uncle, because I do believe in the racehorse theory, right? Slow horses don't produce fast horses, right? I even had an uncle, do you believe in genes? Some do, some don't. My uncle was a great professor. My uncle was a professor for years. I even talked about my uncle was a professor at MIT. My uncle was one of the top people at MIT. But I'm smarter than him. I'm smarter than everybody. I come from a very smart family. It's a smart family. And, he was smart. I had an uncle who was a great professor for, I believe, 40 years at MIT. And I used to discuss nuclear with him all the time. I understand nuclear. Look up Dr. John Trump at MIT. He was my uncle, many, many years a professor. I used to talk nuclear. Like every time I say I had an uncle who was a great professor at MIT for 35 years, who did a fantastic job in so many different ways academically. He was an academic genius. And then they say, is Donald Trump an intellectual? I'd say ISIS wants to get you.
No, get those lights off!
Failed terror attack 19 months before 9/11. In his 2000 book, The America We Deserve, Trump wrote, I really am convinced we're in danger of the sort of terrorist attack that will make the bombing of the 1993 Trade Center look like little kids playing with firecrackers. Trump also mentioned the mastermind of the attack, writing, quote, one day, we're told that a shadowy figure with no fixed address named Osama bin Laden is public enemy number one, and U.S. jet fighters lay waste to his camp in Afghanistan. He escaped back under some rock, and a few news cycles later, it's on to a new enemy and a new crisis.
Wait. Okay, hold on a second. Is this really Trump before 9/11? Yes. Kerry, I am indeed. Yes, Kerry, you're fired.
That one's a little long there, but anyway, I got to play it once. It looks like Gavin's ceiling fan has jumped into the hive mind. Oh, look, he's there too. That's great. I thought it was just your ceiling fan. This is what I call the Chad view of Gavin.
Yeah, exactly. Like Wilson on Home Improvement.
Good to see you, Kevin. How's it going? I saw you watched that whole Saint Sartori thing and made pulled out the takeaways, so I didn't have to. That was nice. I don't like looking too much at those Shadow Tesseract worshiping people. So, but what were some of the highlights you pulled out of that?
Oh, I guess he was curious what the Malcolm and Simone would do if one of their children was like the prodigal son story that went off and, broke away from the culture and kind of, I don't know if they call it a religion or whatever they have. So that was one of his big questions. He's curious about how they would handle that situation. Would they have the, grace in that kind of situation? But I got to know Michael a little better, I guess. That's what I was trying to pay attention to what Michael believes when I was taking notes. Michael believes this,
Yeah. He I believe part of that was related to free will from what I saw in your video.
That's right. There was he was reviewing a video where they discussed determinism and free will. And so the overarching topic was free will.
See, whenever the free will discussion comes into play, I'm always curious. First of all, it answers the question of evil that all the atheists have. Like, why would God let evil happen in the universe? Because free will, obviously. And second, what about providence? How does providence relate to free will?
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on free will?
My thoughts? It seems like when you think about free will as if like you have it or you don't, that's a mistake, like the binary. But in terms of like quantity and quality, like that's where it starts to make more sense. So, you know, the quantity and quality of my agency has changed over time, something like that.
Yes, it got vertical, perhaps.
Yeah, but I don't think I get to take credit for it. That's what's really strange about it.
What do you mean?
It's like even the thing that would make me have a belief, like I didn't bring myself into existence. See, if you go all the way back to that, and then neither did all the people who chose to bring me into existence. But you know, I get to make choices. It feels like choices.
Feels like choices. They always say, like, they don't always say, but some people say that, like, we've done scientific tests to say that, like, you start doing what you're going to do before you consciously are aware that you're doing what you're going to do. And to me, that's always, well, that's because the free will comes from the soul, and it's like a radio receptor. Like, the body gets the signal, and then your body translates the signal to your consciousness, but the signal came from somewhere else, and that's where the choices are made.
The rider and the elephant. They were measuring the elephant before the rider actually started moving.
Precisely. Melchizedek says, if your will wasn't free, how could they manipulate your will so freely? That's well said and lyrical even.
Yeah, you might even play on like free. Like, is there a cost? Like, is will free, or do you have to pay for it? You know.
Oh, you always have to pay for it. How about a shanty?
We all know that there is no agency. Any living gent can see doing what is right for me. Just lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
Now, Rascal says, why does Grim think this stream is going to get a copyright? And mostly it's because I ran this, and it's from Amazon Prime, where they're paying people to stream this to people. And you saw this earlier, right, Gavin?
I did.
Nation, to ensure hell and its sinners could never rise against them. But Lilith's hope remained, and her dream was passed down to their precious daughter, the Princess of Hell. Don't worry, Mom. I'll make you proud.
And what do you think about that disturbing thing coming across the Amazon set, sir?
Powerful mind control.
Very. And I'm just watching cartoons, Mom. See, that's the concern to me. Is like that's being broadcast. Like that lady's got millions of subs already, and now it's being exposed to even the greater masses of streaming viewers, and it's just like, wow. This is why I think that Christianity it might come back to the Roman times where they're being fed the lions. And I'm awful curious how many of the people who identify as Christian now are ready for that level of Christianity.
You get to find out who the real Christians are.
I mean, how it's like whenever the horrible COVID came out, and they were like, okay, we'll stop doing the services. You don't have to come to church anymore. You can stay home and we'll Zoom it to you. I was like, doesn't God decide who gets sick and dies? Isn't that his department? Why are you guys caving to this fear? And if that's enough to scare you away from church, I don't think you're ready for the lion part.
Yeah, it was fear. I liked that you called this little cave, and I like that, like the cave idea. Do you want to explore that cave idea a little more?
Well, it feels a lot like Plato's cave. Like we're coming down here to where everybody's stuck staring at the screens and the shadows on the wall, and I like to keep people company here. and be virtually not alone with them. But we're kind of in a cave. Like the only like as the body of Christ, right? If the whole body of Christ is sitting there staring at their cell phones, what's being done out in the world? Oh, look, we got another set of gift subscriptions to the channel. If you snatch those up, I'm pretty sure if you've put your credit card information into Google and you forget to cancel those subscriptions, you will be charged next month. I'm not positive. That's just my hunch of how things in this world work.
Upcycle helping with the upsell.
Yes, upcycle with the upsell. And we got some from PK Fabe as well. Grab them while they're hot because it's so worthwhile to make these little emojis here. Just leave off the underscore and type in what you see there on the screen. Look at all that goosing Franco's giving us right now. So yeah, it was a play between how this little corner is like Plato's cave, and I don't know what it's like to come out and see the light now, but it's a concern of mine. And I feel like there's this the pull the opposing processing for me is like you're keeping people stuck in their phones, but there's people that can't get out that would like to feel virtually not alone, and that you're being of service to them. And it's kind of both of those things weigh on my mind as I do it.
Yeah. There's also like the mask part of things where maybe even, I guess the word cave made me think about how, like, you know, what is receiving attention. So like each one of us, like I could imagine us like walking around in darkness. I don't know if you saw Jonathan Demir mentioned, he mentioned clearing, this little clearing. And I hesitated with that one because, and I was thinking cave for a different reason, but because it's like, there's people who want to come out and maybe be seen, like receive attention. And there's people, and then people can give attention. And, you know, it's like maybe we've got flashlights and we can shine light. It's like, oh, there's someone over there in the darkness. You shine a light on them, you know, and maybe they get blinded by the light. But that's the kind of the way I was thinking about this thing that we can do where we shine light on. We basically give our attention and maybe even like give the attention of multiple people towards, you know, a person, you know, like we're doing something. And so the cave, like maybe it's not just a small cave, but maybe it's a very large cave, and and there's a lot of darkness there. And we'll have a headlamp or something, or a flashlight that has a certain amount of power. You know, I don't know. We're fumbling around in the darkness.
Well, like I stole from the movie Contact, the only thing that makes the darkness bearable is each other. And so that's part of the VNA thing for me.
And then you have the PVK prophecy, right? With the little cups of candlelight.
Yeah. I was really expecting that to have already landed by now, and like for like masses of Europe to lose actual power and electricity, but who knows? Let's see if anybody else wants to hop in on the hootenanny and come in the hot seat and be on the stream. Meanwhile, I need another branding break. Do you have a favorite that might be already loaded?
I like the one that Ups did where they're dancing, but you already played that one. But it's good.
Well, we'll do the $sign one. Buy more. Vote harder. Oh, that reminds me, I forgot to put the merch links in the bottom of this thing, but in some of them, you can get yourself a Lobster Monkey t-shirt. Their little stickers are really only $4.88. Come on now. Welcome, Symbolic Space. You are a little late. Basically, we covered that Amazon Prime is putting out some horrible, horrible things, such as this thing. This little cartoon with the dog face man, and the that was the big one. Oh, there we go. That's what you missed. This horrible cartoons coming out, and
there's also this thing called The Chosen. You got it. It's not all horrible things, right?
Is that on Amazon Prime too?
I watched it on the Angel Network, but I wouldn't doubt that Amazon's eyeballing that as well.
Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen, we have Cale Zeldin himself on here, the fellow who has not yet invited me onto his Underneath podcast. How's it going, Cale?
You're on the queue, brother. You're on the queue.
All right.
Can you hear me okay?
You're all right.
I need to turn this down on the other one. My apologies. 1 second. I'm not good at this yet, which is why I haven't had any more shows lately.
Do you think Grim? Are we good at it?
I don't
know.
No, Grim's great. Are you kidding me? He's a master at the controls. He's like ridiculous. He's good.
Got lots of practice. Yeah.
Speaking of Amazon Prime, have any of you seen this movie called Saltburn? So as you all know, I teach high school, and so whenever I stop talking, which is not all that often, the kids will tell you stuff, and they're watching this movie called Saltburn, and it's brand new. It came out on Amazon Prime. Oh gosh, maybe a month ago, maybe whatever. But anyway, they're all watching it, and it's pretty vile. It's pretty vile, and it's kind of just pure nihilism. I mean, really, just pure sort of, So anyway, and I can't get it out of my head. I watched it, and it's, look, I'm no like Cub Scout here. We've all seen stuff, and it's not pornography. I don't know if that's going to give if that's a problem for your channel or not, Grim. Sorry if it is. It's not.
They could strike me at any time. If they knew my heart, they'd take me down already.
Yeah, like that stuff is obvious, right? I mean, it is what it is. It's not attempting to be anything more than what it is, right? It's not. It has no pretense other than getting you off. This is a different kind of thing, and it's a weird combination of, what is the stereotype? Like guys watch porn and chicks read porn. It's a weird combination of those two things, right? Where, and so it's a story and it has pretense, and it's a really well put together movie. It's well shot. It's beautiful. It's shot in Oxford, and it's shot at this beautiful like English country house, and it's kind of a riff on the striving middle class kid who's kind of a scholarship kid who kind of wants to break into the English upper class. So it's kind of got all that veneer of glamour and all of it, and but it's like really sick, sexually sick stuff. I mean, like genuinely perverse, in a way that like, and I can't believe I'm gonna say this, in a way that like, I don't know, regular porn is just regular porn. I don't know, it's really sick and twisted.
It's like Marquis de Sade kind of sick.
Yeah, like exactly, right, twisted in that way. It's not about, it'd be one thing if the striving middle class kid like wants to sleep with the hot upper class girl and or the hot upper class guy, right? That's sort of like, okay, you can kind of put, but this is like it's a twisted sexual thing, and in the message, of course, is just that sex.
But that's what's going on at those upper class places like Oxford.
I don't know if it has that. Well, it has that secondary effect, I think, Grim, right? That, oh, well, like this is normal, right? It sort of normalizes, the stuff, right? But what's even more disturbing is like that it normalizes true perversion, a truly twisted vision. And so that, of course, sex is totally meaningless, right? The body means nothing. It just sort of revels in its own nihilism in a way that I haven't seen something quite like it. Period. Full stop. I don't think I've seen something quite like it, except in that kind of Marquis de Sade kind of way. And it's depraved. And of course, whatever. Like a movie's a movie, but like, all my students are talking about it because it's just on Amazon Prime, right? It's just they're just talking about it as if it's totally normal.
I mean, you get free shipping, and then the movies come for free.
Exactly. I mean, this is just so good. I mean, who doesn't want the expedited free shipping? So yeah, so that's been my kind of black pill of the week. Just so then last night I saw that cartoon, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And of course, and this is my last thing, and I'll shut up. But it's like, this stuff is raising our kids like in a very real way, right? And
like in the way that we didn't realize we were being raised by sex.
Right. Which is why I wanted to come and talk to you about it, because you get that, right? That you and I were raised on set. I mean, we had other things going on, but ultimately, or your longstanding riff on Friends, right? That Friends raised us. And notice that it came back again for another generation. Yeah, that was a great job, Truman Show. But this is the stuff that's raising our kids, and it doesn't matter if your kids listen to you, like they're also listening to this stuff. And anyway, so that's just been.
Yeah, it's like you can see some people go to church, some people don't, but everybody worships set.
Right.
Everybody does this, and that's what's normal. And it's like,
and what strikes me about it too is that the kids have tons and tons of noise all around them, right? I'm known on their phones, they've got YouTube, they've got all the different stuff. This one in particular seems to have pierced through the noise and achieved some kind of signal. And I'm just struck by that. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much filth and crap. I mean, fine, like whatever. I mean, we've all been around the block, but this one in particular seems to have penetrated. Maybe it's just like my fancy prep school. That the kids are watching it, but
that might even be worse.
Right. That's right, because they might have access to things that I certainly didn't as a kid. So yeah, it's been a wild week, a wild week.
Thoughts, Kevin?
I mean, I haven't watched it, but I can imagine, like, if you told a story like that, there's a kind of ending for the characters in the story that you could imagine that's realistic. And I wonder if, like, they can get the ending such that you could see how maybe whatever's happening is destructive and maybe isn't attractive. Like a story like that, like sometimes a bad role model can be very useful, or a cautionary tale can be very useful.
Yeah, like horror movies work that way, right? I mean, horror movies are an incredibly moral frame. That it's almost
don't go smoking in the woods around
right.
the
girlfriend, the boyfriend sleeping together in the back room. They always get killed by Freddy first, Jason first, right? But Gavin, that's exactly why this is bothering me so much, right? Because the guy, the lead, gets away with it, and the whole closing scene. It focuses on this huge, English manor house, one of these beautiful houses you see in like a movie, and in the end, he like gets the house. Everybody's dead. He gets the house. Sorry, spoiler alert. And he like literally, I'm not kidding. He literally dances around the entire, all of the rooms in the house, buck naked to the song "Murder on the Dance Floor." It's bonkers, guys. It's bonkers.
It's and like I was thinking just from this cartoon thing is like, remember when people were so upset about kids reading Harry Potter?
Right.
Now this.
Yeah.
Chad, are you driving?
You want me to lie?
Yes, we're live.
Hey, Chad.
No, I said, do you want me to lie?
No.
Chad,
I just want you to not get in the crash and steal the thunder of the stream.
Yeah, no, I'm not looking at you guys. I'm watching the road. I can talk and listen.
Welcome. So, but if you're an accelerationist, it's like my whole life is like Jesus is supposed to come back. How come he's not back now? And it's like, because it's not bad enough yet, I guess. I don't know.
Do you think it has to go all the way to hell? I mean, he's been there before.
We've been there? You mean like in World War II, or what do you mean?
No, like Jesus went to hell already once.
Oh, right.
So does it have to actually get as bad as that?
You're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
what is that artwork you're now displaying? It looks like I don't know, an orgy? What is that, Kale? Oh, it's angels. And what?
It's the Final Judgment, Michelangelo.
I
thought it was appropriate given the tenor of our conversation.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Like, I don't know how much I want to live through the further decline of our society. It was like, okay, I got to live through the 80s, yay me, and now this.
Well, people keep asking that question though, right, Grim? Like, why do we care? Why do we care? And I get the question, but it's frustrating to me, because well, for me, like, obviously I care because I teach kids every day, right? That's sort of part of my motivation. It's why I signed up for this gig in the first place. But like, we really all need to care, if we care about our future. It's remarkable to me that nobody seems to feel the urgency of caring. Like we're too worried about being sort of cool or subtle, and we still remain scared of being earnest.
Or if you care, what are you gonna do? Contact your representatives?
No. Me. I'm a sort of a, I'm a small, sphere of influence guy mostly. It's like, I mean, I've got a couple of sections of kids that I talk to every day, and so, one of the things I've been thinking about this morning is just like, maybe it's just time not to be subtle anymore. Just
what
saying.
Does that look like?
What's that, Chad?
What does that look like?
Oh, yeah. Again, like, for me, that's probably a little bit easier just because I do have kids in my, that show up, a couple of times a week, they have to listen to me, so just connecting the dots. I mean, even like, think about just saying normal, true things like, hey, maybe, maybe you should go to church. Like, maybe you should think about, more than what college you're going to get into. Like, maybe you should think about what you're for, and maybe you should think about kids, and like, maybe you should think about all these things that really, you can materially, make happen. So I don't know. That's sort of what I've been.
I mean, maybe I like when people give their testimonies, which might include something like confessions. Yeah. And it's like, I think the antidote has to include people telling you the truth about how, whenever you lied, or when you were beating up people, or whatever your story is, it's and nobody wants to tell that story. It's a hard story to tell, especially if you haven't learned that it can be powerful and good.
Right.
Before I even started speaking, I was like, what's the story that I would want to tell the audience, about how I cheated on a test in college or something?
We're very much brothers in our defects, rather.
Say that again, Chad.
Sorry. No, I didn't know I was cutting off. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish. Sorry.
No, I was just trying to think of, things that I've done that I could confess to that ended up not working out for the good. There was a lot of missed opportunities because of mistakes I've made. And it's like, they put that up against these stories that are fictional, and maybe that helps you see the lie, that's being told. It's like, no, in real life, whenever you do these kinds of things, this is what happens, right? Like, for me, like, reality, people who actually believe the stories that are bad are going to live it out, and they're going to suffer. Like, there's going to be a lot of suffering.
It's like, would you like to avoid some unnecessary suffering?
But look, I teach English, right? I teach literature, I should say. It's like, that's the whole bloody point of teaching anything that I do. It's like, mean, this is like JBP 101. You know, we watch stories so we don't have to die, right? We listen to stories that we don't have to die. And, you know, so I'm teaching, you know, whatever. I just got finished teaching The Tempest. Like, I'm teaching The Tempest so we don't get, you know, consumed by rage and revenge, so that we can, you know, marry our daughters off and send the good into the future. You know, I don't care how you write a sentence. I don't care how, you know, any of that stuff that they think they care about. I mean, I think I care about the content, you know. And so, you know, and again, I know it's easy for me because, like, I it's right in my wheelhouse. It's exactly what I'm trying to do, you know, every day. You know, in terms of you, Graham, you were asking about like solutions or what have you. But that's all I got. I don't know. I mean, what, we could pass a bill? Like, what the fuck?
Our area of influence.
Yeah.
And like recognizing where it's actually at, and not giving too much attention to things we can't influence. Oh, we've lost Chad.
Right, but you know, I saw that somebody mentioned, you know, don't give it your attention. It's like I don't want to give that turd of a movie my attention, but it's also irresponsible for me if I don't.
Yeah, it's like it sounded to me when you described it that it was like the opposite of awe.
Yeah.
And that's how it broke through.
That's right. Yeah, that's good. It's right. Right. Yeah. It's like the ape of awe. It's like the ape of awe. It's like the opposite. That's right.
And maybe that's how bad things have to be to get through the noise of all the other slag that's around, and that's why it's landing so hard on the kids. But
yeah, maybe that's the upside.
So, as a literature, somebody who studies and teaches literature, would you say like one of the reasons why a lot of people were drawn to this space was what Paul was doing, was inviting regular people to tell their stories. Would you consider those randos conversations like a type of quasi-literature of some sort?
Sure, especially insofar as it participates in the form of story, right? And I, you know, and Paul's really good. I mean, like, you know, I love Paul, obviously, everybody knows that. But I mean, Paul's just really good at asking questions that shape, you know, the bits and pieces and the parts of whatever it is you live your life as, like, into some kind of coherent story. It's an underrated skill, I think, that he has. You know, and yeah, so Chad, I do think that that's the case, right? That you start to recognize that the individual random bits and parts of your life actually can get formed together into something coherent that is meaningful, maybe not so much to you, right, but for your audience. And so you think of somebody like Augustine, right? So Augustine, you know, lives this life and he goes through all that he goes through, and he writes, you know, the Confessions, and the Confessions is him putting together the way in which he didn't understand that his life made sense until he recognized that in his case, you know, God has been speaking to him all along, right? And so it's a kind of act. So storytelling for Augustine is an act of prayer in which he is aligning and kind of norming the disparate pieces of his life into coherence. And so for me, storytelling is getting into alignment, you know, with God, right? With the logos, or however you want to, you know, sort of play that game, right? But it very much is. And so what Paul is doing, I think, why we all, I think all four of us are attracted to the randos conversations. And I think because it's like, that checks with me, or oh my God, or if it's nothing, maybe it has nothing to do with my life, I'm like, man, that's amazing. I can't believe she went through that, you know. And then immediately I have a kind of access to her humanity that has sort of then built out my own humanity. You know,
their defects make their virtues shine so
that's
bright.
Right. That's right.
I think that's what I love about the saints. Like, I love you know, all the great miracles and stuff like that, but I really identify with their ugly spots. You know, like
Yeah.
And we have this saying that it's like we're more brothers in our defects than we are in our virtues.
That's right.
And that's where we can really see each other. And because, like, how am I supposed to trust that you've been in the same fire that I've been in? Come on, dude. Like, you haven't taken a drink in 35 years.
Right.
You're gonna help me? It's like, well, just tell me a little of your story. I'm like, holy shit, man, you're way crazier than I am.
Yeah.
But it's so it hits you and it hits me in such deep ways. And I'm real susceptible to those things. I think that
Why, Chad?
susceptibility, because that's a God-given gift to be susceptible to those things. And I just watched La Bamba for the first time in a long time. My wife never seen it, so a couple days ago I was like, "You've never seen La Bamba?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "This is the first movie I ever cried to." I was like 7 years old when I watched that movie. And she's like, "You were 7 when you watched La Bamba?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
I was 7 when I watched Saltburn. What? That's what's happening now.
Right. But but that isn't that the power of a movie, right, Chad? It's like, you're 7 years old and you remember it. And I'm sure, you could probably have a real long, like a cool conversation about the difference, like what I thought when I saw it at 7 versus sort of what it feels like right now, and like, that's a cool thing. But just the fact that, like, it's such a beautiful movie. Like, I remember, I watched it in high school, at, like, my Spanish 2 class or something like that, right? It was like, oh, it's Christmas time, we kind of time to stuff the semester with some time kill. But it was just beautiful. And I just remember all those songs still work in my head, but like when he dies and his sort of degenerate older brother grabs his mom, and she's mad at the older brother because he's still alive. And there's just, it's such a, just beautiful, hard.
And that movie is about the brothers.
Yeah.
And the mother. I mean, it's not about Richie Valens as a rock star.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah, that's like background noise, isn't it?
Right. It's like Rocky isn't about boxing. It's a love story.
Yeah. It's the pretense that we get to see the real story. So maybe that's your connection, Chad, with your appreciation for the rando stories, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They hit me so much. Now I'm having the opportunity to hear people do it with me, and it's just such a pleasure just to listen to them. And it's like Grizz talking about using these tools in this mimetic info war world that we're living in, where like we get to use the tools to help shine light on love, God.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna listen now. I'm keep talking too much.
No, it's good.
Well, there's not going to be much to listen for, guys. I've reached my limit. But I'm so pleased that Cale and Gavin and Chad have joined me here today, and that all of you have as well. I'm glad I'm not alone in this watching the world decline thing. Gavin, is there anything you want to say in conclusion?
Keep on keeping on, Grim Grizz. It's great. Love your channel.
Thank you.
Love you.
I can't say that in public. Cale, anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
No, just if anybody's got any feedback, if they watched the movie, if they've seen the movie, shoot me some feedback on the Twitters. I'm gonna have to write something up about this, especially because it hits all those points that I deal with every day with the kids and my own children and and all that. So anyway, if you got any thoughts, shoot me something at my Twitter. Appreciate it.
And Chad.
Love y'all, and Cale, I'd love to talk with you about music sometime if you'd like.
Oh yeah, good. Have I? Yeah, I'd love it too.
On my channel, yeah.
All right, guys, I'm taking the train on out of here. Thanks everybody for making us feel virtually not alone. Don't forget that we love you.